Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll put a spotlight on Communities Foundation of Texas. You may not know their name, but you certainly know the impact they make on the community. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. So you may not recognize the name Communities Foundation of Texas, but obviously they have been around since 1953, and they are doing some amazing work right here in our backyard, making North Texas a better place to live. JJ Ponce joins me today. He's with Community Foundation of Texas, and you are the Director of CFT for Business.
That's right. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on, Jeff.
Well, I'm honored to have you in studio because you are something of a celebrity. You were named one of the 40 under 40 from the Dallas Business Journal.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was an honor, but I feel, really it's reflective of my family, my community, just everybody around me. But they said I didn't have to cut the award up into little pieces. They said I could keep it. So
well, we're going to show the headline. Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen. That's a good-looking picture.
Well,
I like
that.
I'm sure your family had to be so proud.
Oh yeah, and number one, A, B, and C is my daughter, my wife, and my mom. Especially my mom. She's like, "Do they have a copy of the paper? She's got to get one." So they sent me one. I was like, "It's coming your way soon."
Okay, so when you are out and about networking and somebody says, "Tell me about Communities Foundation of Texas," how do you describe it?
Yeah, really, we're here for all things community. We've been around for a long time, and it's a traditional community foundation, having funds where individuals or families can do their giving through. But we've added so many things along the way. We've got Educate Texas, which focuses on education all across the state. We've got North Texas Giving Day, which is so big for nonprofits, helping them raise funds in September every year. And then we've got groups like mine, CFT for Business, where we really help businesses engage in the community and engage with their employees.
So a business might come to you and say, "Hey, we want to give back." And we have a bunch of millennials and Gen Z, and as you know, they're all about making an impact. And so you help that company find the right path through philanthropy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have what we call our Business Impact Network. And when a business joins that network, we're going to do a lot of things at first, some information gathering. We're going to ask, what are your core values? What do you care about? What are your business goals? And then we do a survey for all of their employees. So that really makes sure that employee voice is heard. And today when talent is so hard to find and there's higher rates of turnover, that's a real value add. Finding out what each and every employee cares for. And we take all that information and we craft a whole strategic plan for that business and community for the entire year.
I think that's so powerful because, some CEOs might be into homelessness, but their employees don't feel it. And you really have to have the buy-in from the whole company, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really where you get the passion. Like, if your CEO cares about homelessness and you're going out to the North Texas Food Bank and you're doing a day of service, that is impactful and that's meaningful. But if so many of that employee base care about education, for instance, having an extra, service day, something else centered on education is really going to spark that passion.
Yes.
And that's what we love to see when people volunteer is that passion coming out.
I love it. You're a leader there at CFT. We're going to put a couple pictures up on screen. Tell us what we're looking at here.
So this is really great. This is part of our Emerging Leaders in Philanthropy program. So that's designed for young professionals, 25 to 40, really coming up, really interested in giving and philanthropy. We come alongside them and help teach them about the principles of philanthropy. And then they come together as a group and we have $25,000 earmarked for them. and they get to decide how to distribute that among their 3 finalists, and that's who we were interviewing that day. That was Q&A Nonprofit.
And one of the things you guys do is you vet nonprofits to make sure that the families that support you are giving it to bona fide nonprofits.
Yep, that's right. So that's one of the great things about the foundation is if you have a donor advised fund with us, you can rest assured that we won't let that money go out until we've vetted the nonprofit, that they've crossed the T's, they dot the I's. Same with North Texas Giving Day. Same with, the nonprofits that we get our businesses involved in. We make sure that those nonprofits are out there and being impactful because that's where all the resources go.
Yes. We're going to put some pictures up on the screen. We grabbed these off of your Facebook page, and it looks like you're in every walk of life in North Texas, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what's really great about, our businesses, the people, the families that we work with. They care about so many different things. And there's so many nonprofits out there doing good in community. And we get to be the connectors. We get to go out and say, okay, you care about social justice. You care about education. You care about hunger. We know somebody who needs you. They need you, and you can come in and do some good.
And I think it's even more important now. COVID hit. A lot of nonprofits really were hit hard. A lot of their donors, either get laid low. So you have more need now than you've ever had before.
Yeah, absolutely. With COVID, with higher turnover rates, with a lot of interesting things going on in the stock market and the economy, a lot of donors sometimes just kind of hold back a little bit, and the need is even greater. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about North Texas Giving Day.
Yes.
With that kind of an intro. So first, I want to give a huge shout out to the North Texas community because last year, over 100,000 of us collectively gave $66 million to nonprofits in North Texas.
Incredible.
It's huge. So this year we've got over 3,000 nonprofits participating, and there really is something for everybody. And we've got a great website, northtexasgivingday.org, where you can go in and filter for the things that you care about. We call it Find Your Passion, Give with Purpose.
And I love the way the media gets behind you. I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock not to know when North Texas.
That's right. That's how most people know us at first, and then they get to know all the other great things.
That's wonderful. What's one of your favorite success stories? I mean, you've been with Communities Foundation for a little over a year now. What's been a moment for you where you say, "Gosh, I really have found my place"?
Yeah, I really think about the amazing businesses that we work with. And they're all at various levels of engagement. It depends how big they are and, how much they really want to be involved. But when I came in, there was just such energy, such passion, such collaboration. And over the last year, we've really, come back in person and brought on service days in the community. We did a big National Volunteer Month last April. And the way that our business partners have showed up in community was just huge. It was just like, yes, this is what we need to be doing.
And it can really change a company, can't it? When the employees know that it stands for something more than the almighty dollar.
Yeah, I think, more and more people are affecting companies. So whether that's your shareholders, your board of directors, it can be your employees, it can even be your customers. People are really demanding more of companies, demanding that they do more in community, that they're more environmentally and socially aware and conscious, and are actually doing things to make things better. So it's a huge part of that nowadays. And we have so many companies that also want to do good. They don't just need to do good, they want to do good. And when we put those things together, I think the magic happens.
Okay, you have a passion project. It's a nonprofit that you are excited about. Share.
Yeah, so, I'm a kid from Oak Cliff. And born and raised, shout out Oak Cliff. And, there's just a lot of things that you don't know. There's a lot of unwritten rules of the world that nobody tells you about. And they're not written down, so you can't go out and research them. And you learn a lot of things the hard way. So one of the things a group of friends and I did 8 years ago now was found a nonprofit called Leadership Forward. And what we do is we match kids up, usually high school students in Dallas ISD, one-on-one, with a professional from the community. And they come alongside that student and they just, they go through everything. So it starts with big questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And breaking that down into smaller pieces and finding out, what do they care about? What are they interested in? How can we find them internship opportunities and jobs? in those spaces so they can learn, do I really care about this, or should I move on and try some new things? Because, once you get to college and start studying, you're going down a path. So help them figure out those big questions. And then, a lot of the functional operational stuff, like creating a resume, doing mock interviews, applying for college, how to pay for college. That's a huge one. Just really the whole deal.
Wow. So, and you, because you came from Oak Cliff, did you have a mentor or somebody who came into your life at a impressionable age?
I had so many people that helped me, just throughout childhood and growing up. It was a lot of coaches for me. I played sports, and it wasn't just about the game. Coaches really taught me a lot about determination, teamwork, leadership. There are so many teachers and just people out there that just showed they cared. It makes such a difference. It's everything.
That's amazing. Well, in the little time we have left, final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Well, I would just say, if you have a passion in community, there's something you care about, there are ways to be connected to it. You can make a difference. And all of us collectively can make all the difference.
Outstanding. You've been a great guest. We're going to have you back again, and we'll end with the website, which is cftexas.org. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.